We are so happy to have you with us, students of the School of the Prophet. That's me. And I know that you've done the first two lessons, and we are amazed at what those first two lectures brought about. I personally was. I had an experience, as you've seen in the second one, specifically because I dealt with something that's happening right now, and that's the spirit of divination. And the vice president of the School of the Prophet, Mrs. Prophet, is here.
The vice principal. It should be.
The only person who's not here with
our
the little
precious
person
Miranda.
is Maggie. Because
Yeah.
she was a little grubby today, so
Well, whatever.
I need to give her a bath here.
Mascot
and then
Maggie.
I will bring her next time.
Anyway, it's so good to have you with us. And we're going to look at some of the things you wrote about, some of the comments you made. But I just want to tell you, this is a dream of mine come true. That we dreamed about having a school where we could teach people how to hear the voice of God. And even from a distance, because a lot of you can't be in my meetings. And when you do come to my meetings, it's so great to go to the meetings and say, who of you are students of my school? Mm-hmm. And you just see them all over. And you can see, and I don't know if this is just prejudice or anything, but they're so healthy spiritually. You can see they know what's going on. It's like when you talk about a specific subject, there's like a twinkle in their eye. I know about that, and he hasn't spoken about that yet. And so it was in the school, our first course, which was Perceptions. That course, many of you went on and enjoyed. Now you're doing Revelation. Some of you are doing the prophetic revelations first. And it would be good for you to also do Perceptions or spiritual perception. Okay.
Lesson 1 was, what is spiritual revelation? Which was just the foundational lesson where you start speaking about what spiritual revelation is. And the first journal question that you put was, Professor Clement said that God gives you a revelation which activates the positive control system inside of you and inactivates the negative control system. The news media could be an instrument in activating the negative control system in you. Give an instance where this has happened, but also give an instance where a prophetic word, a revelation or similar, has inactivated your negative control system and activated your positive control system. And I love that even one person put their answers, instead of writing negative and positive, they put the little negative sign and the positive sign like on the batteries. Which I thought was clever. Anyway, we have Gretchen who wrote in, I believe it's Gretchen, said, most of the news media report on news items in an editorial manner. They have gotten in back of President Obama and told lies as truth. This engages my negative control system. In this instance, I remember what God admonished us to do. Pray for kings and all in authority. And I stop. I also remember what Kim prophesied about President Obama and used that prophetic word as a basis for me to pray for the president.
That's great.
That's just great. They're just applying exactly
That's
what
very
you
powerful.
taught there.
When you read it, pull the paper down because it's in front of your face.
Oh, it's better cover.
No,
I
you
promise.
don't want to. You know, I want to make a comment on that for those that have been attentive to that specific teaching, in that the deactivation of the negative system and the activation of the positive system is a very, very powerful thing, because we have two control systems, as you all know. We have the negative and the positive. Now, you've learned that. But I was just saying that the feeding of the negative is so close to us in dealing with the news media. When I spoke about a familiar spirit and in teaching it, I got some more stuff on that, and that is that it's something that has to get close to you. And the news media gets very close to us. We wake up in the morning with it. We go to bed at night with it. We're listening to news and hearing the prognosis more than we actually hear the word of the Lord. Most people. And I refuse to do that. I don't like to do that. But a lot of people do. And so they hear the negative first thing, and it's a familiar thing that's so close to them. And so that's how it strangles them. And strangulations.
They need to upgrade the operating system, don't you think?
Jeez.
I think they need to upgrade it. I had to upgrade my operating system of my computer today.
That's a good thought.
Because it was getting old and needed to be upgraded. So you should think about that little.
That's very good. Upgrading your operating system. Well, don't upgrade your negative operating system. Upgrade your positive operating system. That's a great thought. So if
Well, listen to what Maya says. Maya says, the negative control system was activated in me recently over a bad report concerning a friend's health when the doctor said that it would be cancer. She had cancer. I had to recall the report of the Lord and the destiny of this person that has not been complete as of yet. The destiny won out. It is his plan to bring the completion to what he has begun in us. I have also had the positive control system activated through the praying of the scriptures over certain issues.
Outstanding. Who is that?
That's from Maya.
Good for you, Maya. Excellent job. So you are listening. You are learning. Well, just to get back to what I was saying is that people don't even realize how this works, how close this. The reason I'm talking about this is because the second lesson we had an explosion. I did anyway, and I could hear because I'm standing in my classroom, and behind me are my studios in the office, and I could hear people. You could hear the noise that they were making because you could hear it going through the building, or our offices, as they were being ministered to. And I remember the guy directing for me even said that personally ministered to me, and I realized in that session that this was actually a word of the Lord to the nation and to the church right now. It wasn't just to the classroom. And that has never happened. It didn't happen in my perception series where I'm actually dealing with something and God initiated it. This is the word for now. And so I think that was incredible that a revelation came while I was teaching Revelation. I thought that was great. And if you go back to lesson 2, if you ever go back to it, look at the whole thing and see how it broke right there. And then follow my ministry from that point onwards for the weeks after that to see how I ministered on that. Maybe not in detail as I did with the students, but I ministered on that because it was revealed to me that day. It was very powerful.
Very good.
I'm glad they're catching this very quickly, so we don't have a bunch of buffoons on our roll, our student roll.
Amanda, just last one in response to that first question. Amanda says, in the past, I used to believe the negative thoughts about myself, and then I could not hear God speaking to me. So it is so true, she says, that the negative actually blocks that out. You can't hear the positive anymore when that negative's activated.
The negative blocks out or deafens you.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right. You know why? Some people, to me, what's amazing is some people will actually get insulted when you get too positive. It's like, they'll say, like, don't you know what's going on in life and the world?
Mary Poppins.
Yeah, it's crazy. They don't believe Mary Poppins. What about her? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious.
Oh, dear. Anyways, this one.
And if you're ever in New York, go and see Mary Poppins. Or
that's what I was saying, because you just
honestly,
saw
it is outstanding.
It really was.
Anyway, that's got into the school, but that might refresh you because. Didn't those kids write something to me about?
Yes. I have to pull that up. Supernatural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was such fun.
The Duhan sisters. Question number 2 that we did for the journal questions, which we enjoyed putting together, was Professor Clement showed us that we each have a truth that comes from the gospel of Jesus Christ that is known as, in Paul's words, my gospel. Your gospel is really your understanding of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Write a brief excerpt from your gospel. Do you want me to ask you that question first? Would you like to say anything? It takes something that would take time, I think, to answer.
It does.
But anyway, I have a few cute ones here. One from Mary. Mary says, my gospel. It really doesn't matter what you go through. No matter how hard, how drastic, how devastating, the Lord will lead you through. Look for his pathway. It is there. Lean completely into him. He really will not leave you. Keep walking through the situation. He absolutely will make something good come out of it. He's solid, completely trustworthy, truth, the final word, and complete love. You can really hear their story coming through.
Is a lady?
Yes, that was Mary.
That was very good.
I like that one too.
Very good. Very sound and very exciting.
And Renate, I'm not sure how to pronounce that name, but says, my gospel shows me how Jesus says that I matter to him. Whenever I need forgiveness, I go back to the top, as they say. Everyone is equal in God's eyes. My light shining may want someone to ask what the light is. Jesus is waiting for me to share his love to all so that his forgiveness can be theirs also. I just love that one.
Beautiful.
And Mark writes, these classes have been the most powerful prophetic classes I've ever had. They've helped me see who I am in Christ. That treasure chest that God placed in me before the beginning of time, I'm learning more and more of who I am, that man of destiny.
That is great. And you're going to get a lot of stuff about this in the next few lessons.
It's only getting better and
Oh,
better.
it's only getting better. And
I think you just did the best one, which was a 6, I think, 5 or 6.
they're all good. They're all so different. But you're right, and that was powerful as well. And I don't want to share this with them now. They don't know what the 6th one is.
Nope.
About the covenant.
Not
No,
yet.
no, no.
That's the one, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Not yet.
That was a great one. It was very moving. It's another one of those that was very moving.
right. It just something
Yeah.
happened right then and there beyond your teaching, you know.
It was very powerful. And you know what? I'm connected to all of you because when I'm in the class, I'm in a class with nobody except you. That's a fact. I mean, I've got the cameras rolling and basically one person in there and 2 other people that are taking notes and checking everything's running in order. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. Is there anything else?
There's a third question. You want
Oh.
to speak about the you of heaven, and because we got
Oh,
into a
that's
little
right.
debate on this. You actually expounded on that thought, saying, you know, the greater you is the you of the future. Not that there's 2 yous, but
Right.
well, you explain it well in the lesson.
I want to explain that, but I think read it.
The question.
Well, yes, read the question.
There is a you of this world and a you of the heaven world or spirit world. Have you seen the greater you, the man of destiny? If so, write about what you see. And we had some good
Read that one,
responses.
the answer to that one.
The Elizabeth says, I've only seen partially my man of destiny or woman of destiny. The vision seems too good to be true, so I often cut it short in fear of being arrogant. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a specific assignment, and God has placed signposts along the way to show me where I'm supposed to be going. Deja vu. I have also asked God to keep my feet on the path of the destiny He has for me, even if I mess it up somehow. I believe that He will do that, and that as I become more and more ready, He'll show me more of the vision of my future man, which is also good because it keeps unfolding as you keep going.
Yeah, it does, and that's. I love that question. The thing about theology is, you know, the Pentecostal movement was a powerful movement, but there was a teaching, an erroneous teaching that came out about the 2 natures, or there's 2 different people living inside of you. The one sins, the other one doesn't sin. And what they would do is use that as an excuse. And when they sin, they'd say, well, that's the other man. That's not the... Well, this is not what I'm teaching at all. My teaching has got nothing to do with that. You are a new creation, and there's no such thing as the old man's dead. All things are passed away, and we are new creations. So, however, in being new creations, when you see yourself 7 years from now, will you recognize yourself? Take yourself as an example. When you were just a kid, had you ever envisaged being to this point? I mean, you're a good example because you've been with our ministry for so long. Would you have? I mean, if you'd seen that, if you'd seen this now, just say you were brought out of 14 years of age and brought to your present age, and you looked, you would have been shocked because you couldn't see it quite then. Right. That's the other man that we're talking about. It's the development that's taken place over those years to where you're now more powerful and more mature. So it is with all of you. In the future, there should be the person that's developed into somebody incredible. And that is very exciting about this whole prophetic thing, is that you can actually see yourself, maybe not in detail, but you can see yourself in the future, and that's what drives you through hardship, through pain, and all kinds of things.
That's good.
That's good.
That's what I was just going to say. It gives you something to live for. Gives you, and when sometimes people need it, they need to get from day to day, and it gives you that to keep going, hope. Yeah.
Keep hope alive. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I know that I said you are going to take a journey with me, and I didn't realize that I was actually prophesying to myself, because while I was doing this, I found myself on a journey as well. I love you very much. Thank you.